Let's start with a number, 22%. What if I told you that one specific renewable energy source is set to grow by that much globally in just the next 5 years? And no, it's probably not the one you're thinking of.
Yep, the answer is biogas. It's this really powerful organic solution that's becoming a super critical part of the renewable energy story, especially because it helps decarbonize parts of our world that other renewables just can't touch. So today, we are doing a deep dive into the science, the engineering, and the global impact of biogas, from waste to wattage. Here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with why biogas is such a hot topic right now. Then we'll get into the actual science. From there, we'll look at how you engineer a biogas plant, figure out how to optimize the whole process, and then we'll zoom out to see the global boom that's happening. So first things first, why is this organic energy source getting so much attention all of a sudden? Well, biogas is really stepping up as a strategic fuel because it can solve a problem in sectors that are just notoriously difficult to electrify. Think about long-haul trucking or heavy industry like steel manufacturing, places where giant batteries just aren't a practical solution yet. That's the sweet spot for biogas. All right, so to really get why it's such a big deal, you have to understand the basic science behind how you can literally turn trash into treasure or, waste into energy. And it all starts with this stuff, biomass. This is just a fancy term for biological material, stuff from living or recently living things. We're talking about agricultural waste, animal manure, leftover food scraps. Basically, any organic material becomes the fuel for this entire process. So you take that biomass and it goes through something called anaerobic fermentation. This is the real magic. It's a biochemical process where, and this is key, in the total absence of oxygen, tiny bacteria get to work and just start breaking down all that organic gunk. You can really think of the whole thing like a big mechanical stomach, digesting waste and, producing some valuable gas as a result. Now, what's so cool about this is that the benefits go way beyond just making fuel. I mean, yeah, you get valuable biogas, which is great, but you also shrink the mountain of waste you started with, which means way less stuff going into landfills. And the byproduct? It's not more waste. It's this nutrient-rich slurry that's basically a fantastic natural fertilizer. It's a beautiful, efficient, circular system. Okay, so we've got the science down. Now let's put on our engineering hats. How do you actually build one of these things to make this process happen at scale? Let's take a look inside the two main designs for biogas plants. You're going to run into two basic flavors, the floating dome type and the fixed dome type. The key difference is literally in the name. With the floating dome, you have a big steel drum that actually moves. It rises up as gas is produced. The fixed dome, on the other hand, is a static, underground structure where the gas pressure builds up inside and pushes the used-up slurry out. So let's walk through the floating dome. First, the organic slurry gets fed into the digester. The bacteria start doing their thing, making biogas. That gas gets trapped under that steel drum, and it physically lifts it up. It's a super simple visual way to see how much gas you're making. As that holder rises, the pressure it creates forces the spent slurry out, and the usable gas gets piped right off the top. Now, the fixed dome model works a little differently. This whole thing is usually built underground. As the biogas collects in that sealed dome, it has nowhere to go, so pressure builds. But instead of lifting anything, that pressure pushes down on the slurry, forcing the spent material into a separate overflow tank. See? Just two different engineering approaches to get to the exact same result. Now, as any good engineer knows, just building the thing is step one. The real fun begins when you start optimizing it. So how do you take one of these designs and just crank up the efficiency? What are the different dials you need to turn to get the absolute most gas out of your waste? Well, the thing you have to remember is that this is a biological process, and the little bacteria doing all the heavy lifting are actually pretty sensitive. You've got to get the conditions just right for them. Temperature is huge. The process works fastest at around 55 degrees Celsius. Think about the temperature of a hot cup of coffee. You're basically creating a perfect warm spa for these microbes to thrive in. You also have to carefully control the loading rate, keep the pH just right, and make sure the feedstock has the perfect carbon to nitrogen ratio. It's a really delicate balancing act. All right, so we've been deep in the weeds of the science and the engineering. Now let's pull back up to the 30,000-foot view and connect this technology to the much bigger picture, the global biogas boom. And this gets right to the heart of it. According to the International Energy Agency, this is where biogas really shines. It offers a real solution for those critical parts of our economy that can't just plug into a wall. That makes it a totally indispensable tool for the global energy transition. And this table just illustrates the sheer scale of the opportunity. I mean, Europe and the US have some ambitious targets, for sure. But then look at the absolutely staggering, untapped potential in places like India and Brazil. We are talking over 100 billion cubic meters each. To put that into perspective, that's enough to meet a huge chunk of their current natural gas demand, all from organic waste. The room for growth is just massive. And that potential is already starting to turn into reality. In emerging markets, growth is really taking off. India's production is expected to jump by 21% by 2030, and in Brazil, the government is pushing these ambitious mandates to blend biogas into their gas supply, and that's driving some serious investment and expansion. This really brings us to a critical point, and it's captured perfectly in his quote from the IEA's Dr. Fatih Birol. The pace of growth of renewables will be determined by governments. The technology is here, the science is solid, but unlocking the full, massive potential of biogas all comes down to supportive policies and smart investment. So, I'll just leave you with this thought. We're facing two of the world's biggest challenges. We have mountains of waste piling up, and our demand for energy just keeps rising. Could it be that these elegantly simple systems, these little mechanical stomachs, are a quiet but incredibly powerful key to a more sustainable future?